What is up, ladies and gents? In today's video, we're going to be talking all about Aster. We're going to be discussing what we're seeing here on the charts, and I'll be giving you guys my price prediction for Aster over the coming days and weeks, as well as my targets for 2025. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Of course, if you are a new viewer, then welcome to this channel. If you do like this sort of content, hit the like button and subscribe for more. If you are a returning viewer, as always, welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you all here. So, of course, we're going to be diving straight into this video. And so, of course, we're on the 1 hour chart right now for Aster. And the reason why I'm making this video here on Aster is because I do think that we could see a very big price move in the very near future. And I'm talking over potentially the next few days. Now, the reason why I say that about Aster is because if we just zoom out here on the chart, of course, Aster is a relatively new token, so we haven't seen much price data, but you guys can basically see the structure that we have seen. We saw this beautiful pump when Aster was first released. That was obviously in September. We saw it top out a little bit there at $2.40-ish. And since the end of September, Aster has been in a massive consolidation period. So we have a resistance on the 1 hour chart that looks a little bit like this. It's almost absolutely perfect. You can see that we've got 3 clear tests of this upper resistance here and 3 more tests over the past few days, giving us a total of 6 tests of this resistance, making it a mega resistance here for Aster. We have a support in the shorter term that also looks like this. You can see that this has been tested on 4 separate occasions, once, twice, 3 times, maybe we can count this cluster as 4 times in that cluster there, and twice in this region. So again, we've got a strong support, we've got a strong resistance, and maybe you guys can see where I'm getting at. If we extend these trend lines outwards, you can see that they intersect each other in a few days time. So it essentially gives us a deadline here on Aster as to when we should see a breakout. Now, of course, if we see a breakout to the upside, which I think is more likely than the downside, then we should get a very nice price target here on Aster. And of course, the price target is the distance between the first test of support to the first test of resistance. And if we drag this measuring tool to where we see that breakout, let's just say that happens tomorrow, we could be looking at a price target here on Aster of $3.49. So, of course, that is one of the shorter term price targets that I'm looking at here on Aster that I think could happen within the next few days. Of course, in a similar sense, if we see a breakdown instead of a breakout from this triangle pattern, then we could see prices plummet all the way to $1.21. So just be on the lookout for that. So of course, just be prepared for that scenario as well if you're a holder here on Aster. Of course, fingers crossed for the upside, but we could also potentially see a breakdown if prices meaningfully drop below $1.90. So of course, if you guys want to get $10 worth of if you guys want to get $10 completely free to buy some Aster before we see any massive price move, then don't forget to check out the MEXC exchange. As you guys can see on the screen, they're giving every new user who signs up using the link in the description down below $10 to get started. Now, this exchange does not require KYC. The only thing you need to do to get this money is to deposit some fiat or crypto into your new account, and then that $10 is yours straight away. So like I say, you can use that to buy some Aster, or you can long or short Aster with up to 200 times leverage using the MEXC futures exchange. Of course, again, link for this exchange is in the description down below. Thank you as always. Let's get back into this video. So this is something that I think, like I say, is going to happen in the shorter term within the coming days. Of course, we don't have that much price data, so we can take a quick look at the MACDs on the 1 hour, but they basically tell us the same thing. You can see that the MACD on the 1 hour chart is also sort of consolidating in its own way. So it's kind of confirming the presence of this triangle in my mind. And so essentially, if we get a breakout to the upside of this resistance, which sits at $2.20, and we also get a breakout here on the 1 hour MACD, that would be a bonus in my opinion. It's not essential, but that would be awesome if we see a breakout from both the MACD and the price triangle. So that's the shorter term here for Aster. Of course, if we now consider Aster, where it could potentially go to in 2025, just first and foremost, we know that Aster is fairly closely tied to Binance. We've seen the previous CEO, of Binance speak very positively here of Aster. Of course, Aster is a DEX, a decentralized exchange, and Binance is a centralized one, and CZ has continuously said that decentralized exchanges are going to be the future. And of course, when we look at how well the Binance token is performing, BNB, this is Binance's token over the past month. We've basically seen a 60% rise. And just to put that in perspective, have a look at how parabolic it has gone over the past few months. So we're seeing something very similar on Binance's token as we saw back at the start of the bull run in 2021. So this, in my opinion, is a very good sign for Aster, knowing that there are some ties. So at the very minimum, I do expect Aster to get some of BNB's gains. And of course, my targets here for Aster in 2025 from the price data that we currently have are ones that fall along these fib levels, because at the end of the day, we can see that Aster has used these fib levels on several occasions as places of support and resistance. We can see that's happened multiple times throughout Aster's history. And so essentially, when we come to see Aster make new all-time highs, which is past this 1 fib here, we can see these fib levels as places where Aster might find some resistance. So on its journey upwards, we can see we've got these 3 fib levels here. The 1.272 fib tells us we could see about $3.60 here on Aster. 1.4 fib tells us we could see $4.50, and this 1.618 fib tells us we could see over $6 here on Aster. So 1.618 fib is the golden fib ratio. So that forms one of my main targets here for Aster in 2025. Of course, that is a 3x. If you're feeling a bit more ambitious, we've got these 2 extended fib levels as well. We've got this 2 fib telling us we could see $11 here on Aster, and finally this extended 2.618 fib telling us we could see about $28. So depending on how conservative or ambitious you want to be, these are the price targets that I have for you. Obviously, if you're more conservative, then you might be more happy with $3.60 or $4.50. If you're feeling a bit more ambitious, maybe you're happier with $11 or $27. But in my opinion, there is a good chance here on Aster for us to get to this 1.618 fib and then beyond to try and reach for these ambitious price targets. Because remember, this 1.618 fib here, the golden fib, tells us we could see about a 3x on Aster. But if we go on the total free chart here, which is the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, this is the chart that we are currently seeing. You already see that I have annotated it, but if I get rid of these squiggles here, you guys can see that the market cap, right now is right by this upper resistance, 1.15 trillion. If we see a clear breakout to the upside, that means that we've seen a breakout from this ascending triangle, and the market cap target sits at just over $4 trillion. So that represents a 263% upside, which is about a 3.5x. Now, if we do see that breakout to the upside, the implication of that is that on average, we're going to see cryptos do about a 3.5x this cycle. So if you believe that Aster is going to perform averagely, then we should see it do about a 3.5x. And remember, this 1.618 fib was only a 3x. So we should actually see Aster go to $7 if we see that price target from the total free market cap met. Now, of course, if you believe Aster is going to perform above average, if you think that Binance and BNB ecosystem is going to perform above average, then your price targets here on Aster should be higher, in my opinion. And of course, we've got this convenient 2 fib here, which I think is a great target. If you're feeling like the BNB season is going to be here for Q4, that tells us we could see $11 on Aster. If you're super ambitious, then we've got 27, like I say, as well. Very, very finally as well, one more chart that I want to show you, and then I promise the video is over. We've got this triangle here on the Ethereum chart. It's been happening now for 5 years, and just a few months ago we saw a breakout to the upside from this triangle pattern. The prices here on Ethereum came back down, but we saw a strong bounce to the upside. And so if the price target of this triangle is met, it should send Ethereum into 5 6-figure territory. Now, why do I tell you about Ethereum? Well, Ethereum is the largest altcoin there is. So if Ethereum is going to be doing well, chances are we should see other altcoins doing well as well. So that's going to add a bullish bias here for Aster over the coming weeks and months. And so in my opinion, plenty of reasons to still be extremely bullish here on Aster, and plenty of reasons why Aster should be going much higher for 2025. So of course, that was my thoughts here on Aster in a nutshell. I think the most prominent thing is that shorter term triangle. It's a very clear triangle. If we see a clear breakout, then we got a clear price target to the upside or the downside if we break down. Of course, that is what I wanted to say in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.